Good morning. This should be a pretty quick lesson. I'm going to take and download a piece of hardware from Simpson Strong Tie, and I'm going to place it into a template. It's actually not a real template; it is still a DWG instead of a DWT. But I need to do that conversion at some point. I will, and maybe we'll do that as a lesson. But for now, we're just going to quickly modify that into the line work for use in a detail, and then show the end result in an actual CAD detail. So first thing we need to do is pick out what do we need. And so if you look, I did some of this sort of stuff yesterday, and so I have a few here, including even a screw with the head and that sort of thing, so I can just plop them into my details. And so to start the process, first thing we want to do is open up a detail, and then you can kind of see my order here. There's Simpson, and in Simpson there's different types of stuff. If I back out from there, I'm going to be out into my structural tab. There is hardware. Because there's so much Simpson stuff, I have its own category. You can put it, however you want to do stuff, but all that is in my blocks evolving, and then that is a shortcut that I keep here. So what I'm looking for is I want to back one more because I want to go to my templates evolving, I believe, and I'm wrong. Oh, I'm right. For details, KS detail starter, I'm going to say open, and I almost want nothing out of this drawing, to be honest. So I'm going to some layer out if I don't. If I was drawing a full detail, this is a great starter because I can pick up things like here's all my dimensioning set up to match properties with for a 3/4 equals 1 inch, and they're done for all types of sizes. So all that is there, and I'm gonna erase this guy and that. So basically all of it except that, so I know where 0, 0 is, and that's all that does for me. So now that that is done, I could go through and purge everything, but I want this layer to stay. So I'm going to draw a line on it. And actually, I was on another layer I want to stay. So I'm going to draw a line on it. And I always keep that junk layer around, period. This guy can go away eventually. In fact, if I wanted to, I could put that there. Didn't hit it. Put it there. Remember that that is my 0, 0. But I'll also be dropping into 0, 0 anyway. And now pretty much set to go, except I need to now, before I go too much further, let's do a save as. And actually, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to leave it just like this because we need to give it a name, and we don't know what we're downloading yet. So kind of need to go to Simpsons folder, and that's going to be on my other screen here. So let's just open this up. Maybe saved in my shortcuts there. I'm not sure. So Simpson, and what I usually do, there's Strong Tie homepage. But if I can't, I want to go to strongtie.com and go to the official website. So if I don't know that site, I will type in Simpson Strong Tie official website, and that way I end up here. And now I'm going to products. Let's do connectors, wood connectors. And now I can kind of look through and see what I'm looking for. Caps and bases. I did one yesterday, but I'd like to have the adjustable cap and the adjustable post base as part of my collection. So let's do adjustable post base right now. So the ABA, it's a more of a lightweight version than some others. There are some others too. ABU, I believe, is even lighter than this. And this still affords the 1 inch standoff, which is required by code if you're putting it on concrete. So this one does as well. I don't necessarily want it all the way boxed in. That would be fine. This ABU is actually probably a little more readily available. So it's kind of a choice. Let's go with ABU today. All right, so I'm going to go to ABU. Now once I'm here, if you scroll down towards the bottom, you're going to find ABU 1010. I want like an 8. So there's oh, I need a 44 for this project. I don't want stainless steel. That's what that stands for. There's an RZ. So RZ is probably it. It may be just a Z, and that's probably just the coating. So if you want, you can go up to here and find out what those mean. And so where's their property table? So the 44SS stainless. This is a Z Max, the RZ, and it's also a Z Max in the Z. So this says rough 4x4. So like if I was doing an RS timber, a rough sawn, I'm gonna state that that's probably what that is for. So I'm gonna go with the Z. So let's go down to Z again. Let's pick it up. Not a 12, I want a 4Z. There we go. Now if you scroll over these guys here, be careful because, well, it's following me. This is PDFs. I want DWGs. So when I do hit download, I want to be in this column. And so got the tops. There's a front. So what I'll do is a front and a side. And so front and rear, they got right down here. They don't because they're the same. So left and right have a slight variation just in the pattern of probably some of it. So they might show both. To me, they look identical. So I need both of those. So let's grab front, and we'll do it first. And while I'm here, I'm going to grab the left, and now I have both. And if you look at them, you can tell FRL. So when you want to open them, and if you only want to do one or the other, you could do it. And you click right on here, it opens it right in AutoCAD immediately. So it's open here now. So all I want to do is grab all this, Control-Shift-C, pick my base point, which I want this base point to be at the top of concrete. So that would be this location right here. So that when I place it at my 0, 0, it becomes my insert point. So then Control-V on the other drawing, 0, 0, enter, and there it is. Now I can save it. And my name is going to be that ABU44Z. So save as, back out. Oh, I need to go in. We need to go to blocks, in my case. Then I'm going to go to structural. I'm going to go to my Simpson stuff. Then I'm going to go to post caps. I want post bases, and I don't have one started yet. So let's start one up. Let's do a new folder, post bases. Now I have a lot of stuff in here that I was doing by this code. In fact, the ABUs are already here. So, but I'll just file them back into this one because I probably have other sizes in here. I can look real quick. So yeah, there's 6, 6, and 8, 8/8 in here. And so I'm going to go in. There's a PB44. That's PB for post base. So I need to probably bring these over too. And there's a PB44 side. So this one I've modified. This is the front. I haven't used it yet, or I would have renamed it. I don't really care for all this stuff. I want a nice short name. So in my post bases, and I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to type ABU44, and I don't care if it's the Z. Most of them are the same. Stainless steel is a finish. Z Max is likely a difference in the thickness of the metal, although they were both Z Max. So the differences between them is just, it's not enough to make it too much for me to worry about. So I can do this underscore and front, and that's all I'm going to give it for a name. So I hit save here. Now you can see it's renamed. So now I can do all kinds of work to this. So let's match properties. I want this whole thing to be on my thin lines layer because there's a lot of detail going on in here. And now I'm going to undo that because I just realized REA, I've got some hidden lines in here. I'd like to keep those. So instead of doing that, I'm going to grab this and I'm going to switch it to the layer, and it should maintain the line types. So that being done, I don't need this junk layer anymore. I don't need this line anymore. And so I can, well, oops, I want to keep that junk layer. I'll get rid of that in a sec. What we're going to do here is I'm going to purge. And I'm on the junk, so it wouldn't have disappeared anyway. I would have been fine. You can either leave a line or you could be on the current layer. I'm going to get rid of everything. Purge. This is a super simple, tiny itty bitty drawing, and I want it to stay that way. Purge all checked items. And you can see it doesn't give you any more options to go further because it took care of all the nesting. Close. Erase that. Zoom extents, so it shows up in my previews when I insert it nice and fine. I hit save, and then I'm going to click here, and I don't need to save that. And now, if I really wanted to, which I usually keep my house as clean as I can, so I'm going to come up here to my downloads, and I just did the front, so I'm going to right click on it and delete it. So that is now no longer in the folder. File deleted. So back to where we were. Let's open up a detailed drawing that I was working on yesterday, and we may do this another one in the future. Maybe I put it in details. If I was organized, I did. So let's see. So I just realized I hadn't given it a number or anything yet. I hadn't applied it to the actual drawing. So it's going to be probably in foundation, details. It did include, no, it wouldn't have been. It should be in, not floor framing, more like roof framing. Here we go. All right, so that's not it. Okay, we can cheat. I know it's right here. I just want to show it to you. So where I filed it, I'll put it in the right place. So this is it in paper space. You can see it's got, I use these, and these are different levels of tint. And what that does for me is if I go into a particular job and I'm looking at my PDFs, we're getting ready to finalize this guy, so I'm just kind of doing some last minute stuff. Then this is what that looks like as a print, and it's pretty nice because there is a Simpson tie right there, and that's one that I created yesterday, the post cap. And so in this case, if I had my post continuing all the way down, this is a 4x4 post. On the other side, right here, this is a 4x4 post. So what I want to do is I could take this, and if you do the control shift select, you're going to end up with a bunch of lines. And I'd like this to come in as a block. So I do want to use the proper insert. Go into my blocks, check my library, and I'm in dimensional number. Let's back out structural. And then I want to go to Simpson. I want to go to my post bases, and it'll be the only thing in there right now. Open. And then, for some reason, you have to go back here, grab it, and now I've got it. And I could place it on my posts. And I'd want to get, I want to get a line drawn across here. Like a lot of times, I like to do things diagonally because then I can find them easily. To NEA there, and it didn't go to the white portion. I want the line to go to there. Now I want to be on my junk layer. Let's turn this so it's free, and let's do a line from the middle straight down. Now if you're not confident that you're going to hit straight, gosh, didn't stay on the junk layer. I'm going to erase that. Try X line V for vertical. Drop it. That's a perfectly straight line every time. Now I can move this from that to the intersection there, and it is squared up, center, ready to go. Way too high. This is for a different type of detail. I'm just showing how I would use it. I also would come in here and I'd clean this up. There's too much line work. It's a pretty far out detail. I don't need all of this. So I'd probably take all these little lines, those out, trim that back a little bit, get rid of that singular line there. So, you know, I'd be seeing, are these separate pieces? Sure they are. Delete them. This one probably is not, but if I just drag it down and then get rid of that one, come over the other side, just do the same thing. Because when they're this close together in a tiny little detail, you got to remember what you're going to end up with, which is, you know, I can't see what's going on in that little joint right here. So that little detail is unwarranted. It's just not necessary. The rest of this is fine. You know, may or may not show up. You can't hardly see the tabs on the drawing here. There's tabs right there. And if I zoom way in, go over to it, roll down, they don't even show up because this line thickness for this piece here is just covering it up. So I may even want to change my arrow, but this is a very experienced contractor I'm working with. I don't think I need to explain. And so looking pretty good for how that one turned out. And I think we have kind of all that we need in how to do this, how to use it. This is Mark with Not Square Design, and hopefully you found this useful. If you please like or subscribe, appreciate it. Keeps me going. Thank you.